right, let's jump right in. We're taking a deep dive today into managing high blood pressure, using the sources you've provided as our roadmap.
Sounds good.
The goal, really just to cut through the complexity, pull out the key insights for you, your shortcut to getting informed on this, well, really crucial topic.
And these sources, they definitely cover the landscape, don't they? You've got lifestyle changes, diet stuff, potential medications.
Yeah, and that need for professional guidance, that comes through strong.
Absolutely. It's all in there.
It feels like the sources are painting a whole picture. Because managing blood pressure, it's not just some number, right?
Yeah.
It's key to lowering risks like heart disease, stroke, big stuff.
Mm-hmm. Fundamental.
So in this deep dive, we'll unpack what your material really highlights. Those healthy habits, food choices, knowing when meds might be needed, and keeping that connection with your doctor.
And what really jumps out from the sources is how it all fits together. It's not just one thing.
Totally. A combined approach. So first up, lifestyle changes. The sources frame these as like foundational.
Yeah, not just suggestions. They talk about being proactive. So, yes, maintaining a healthy weight, but also, regular exercise.
Did he get specific on the exercise part?
They did. Aiming for about 30 minutes of moderate activity most days. Brisk walking was the example they gave, something accessible.
Okay, 30 minutes, brisk walk. Feels doable. What other habits were emphasized?
Limiting alcohol, definitely. And they were really fun on quitting smoking. Explains how it directly harms blood vessels, raises pressure.
Right, that makes sense.
And managing stress effectively came up, too. Things like deep breathing, meditation, maybe yoga, and sleep. Prioritizing it. Aiming for, 7 to 9 hours?
Wow, okay, so weight, movement, no smoking, less alcohol, stress management, good sleep. It's quite a list. Clearly important, according to the sources.
Definitely presented as non-negotiables.
Okay, moving from that, the sources also put a huge spotlight on diet.
Oh yeah, diet is positioned as a really powerful tool. One of the biggest takeaways from the sources is cutting down sodium.
Salt, right, how much?
They suggest aiming under 2,300 milligrams a day, but they actually make a strong case for getting closer to 1,500 milligrams for, better control for most adults.
1,500 milligrams?
Yeah.
Huh. That's quite specific. Easy to remember from the sources.
It is. And balancing that sodium reduction with increasing potassium is another key point.
Potassium. Like what foods?
They specifically mentioned bananas, oranges, spinach, those kinds of things. And following eating patterns like the DAS diet.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, DASH. Dietary approaches to stop hypertension. The sources describe it as rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, but limiting saturated fats, cholesterol, so lean meats, that kind of thing.
Got it. Watch the salt, boost potassium, load up on plants, choose lean protein. Sounds straightforward, but needs consistency, obviously.
Exactly.
Takes effort.
Now, the sources are also realistic. They acknowledge lifestyle and diet might not always be enough on their own.
Right. And that's where medication might come in. The sources list the main types you'd hear about. Diuretics, they help get rid of extra salt and water.
Then ACE inhibitors, ACE and ARB, they work by relaxing blood vessels, calcium channel blockers too, and beta blockers, which affect your heart rate.
And the really critical message there, which the sources repeat, is that these are tools.
Yeah.
Use them exactly as prescribed.
And always, always talk to your doctor. It's not something to manage alone.
Couldn't agree more. Which actually leads perfectly into that final pillar, the sources stress monitoring and professional guidance.
Yeah, checking your blood pressure regularly, having those doctor check-ins presented as absolutely essential.
Because that lets the plan change if needed, right? Based on how your body's responding.
Precisely. It shows managing blood pressure is ongoing. It's dynamic, not a one-and-done fix.
It really seems like the sources build this case, that all these pieces, lifestyle, diet, maybe meds, the monitoring, they have to work together.
It's the synergy they underscore, yeah. It's the whole package.
Okay, so let's wrap this deep dive up. The sources you gave us, they paint a really clear picture. Good blood pressure management, it rests on those pillars. Proactive lifestyle, smart eating, understanding medication's role, and staying plugged in with your doctor through monitoring. We pulled out specifics from the material, remember, like aiming for 30 minutes of exercise, that 1,500 milligram sodium target, getting potassium from foods like bananas or spinach.
And just knowing those medication types exist as options, diuretics, ACE inhibitors, etc., if lifestyle changes aren't quite cutting it.
And you mentioned the sources point towards places like the Heart Foundation or Hypertension Australia for more info.
Yeah, they're suggested for anyone wanting to dig even deeper. good resources.
So here's a final thought for you listening. Considering all these interconnected strategies we've just unpacked, how you live, what you eat, the medical support available, that constant tracking, how does this deep dive, based on these sources, maybe shifts your perspective on the power, the active role you have in your own health journey?